Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podfathers, the best parenting podcast in the universe, tolerated by Barstool Sports. It's your pal Clem here. It's Pop over in Jersey. Just gave me a wink. You better be watching on YouTube because that was that subtle wink. That's how you got Annie. How was that? Was that the leadoff pitch right there? That was the first pitch of the game that got your student loans paid off and a beautiful family presented at your home. And we have our boy Joey Langone on the ones and twos picking up his kids, but the guy's always joining the podcast, so he is listening in intently. The co-champion, I guess you could say, of the Costco draft with me, split right down the middle. Uncle Chap's dead last. So due to Uncle Chap's coming dead last in his beloved Costco draft, he's off the show for the day. We decided to boot him. Firm but fair. That's how we parent here at the Podfathers. How the hell are we doing, big man?
Good. Yeah, I just got back from Phoenix. NASCAR season is kind of over. They have the NASCAR postseason awards show, which I guess they do for just about every sport, right? So NASCAR does, like, Rookie of the Year, Driver of the Year, Team of the Year, all that stuff. So they're doing that in a couple of weeks, and they just asked if Spider and I would care to host the pre-party for it at Jason Aldean's place down in Nashville. So we graciously accepted. But otherwise, the actual racing season is over. Joey Logano is your Cup Series champion, and we had a great time. Great time out in Phoenix once again. I'm just so bulled up on that goddamn sport now, and it's coming to Chicago. They announced today officially that there's a road race coming to the streets of Chicago next year.
Excuse me, Large. We're going to go to our on the ground correspondent, Eddie Barstool, for his opinion on NASCAR being in his home city. Eddie, are you there?
Oh, yeah, guys. So I'm out here on the site of what's going to be what they call turn 2. You're going to be making a strong left on Wacker, and then you're going to go all the way down to Erie. You make another left on Erie, and then you go, it's called a straightaway. You can get speeds of up to 100. Carl, how fast again? 170 miles an hour. 170? You fucking sure, Carl? Seems like it's very, bang, bang. 170 miles an hour. So they're going to be closing off a bunch of streets in Chicago next year, and for that, so we're looking forward to it. NASCAR tries to do all this stuff to shake it up, and they just signed Spider and I to do a weekly show. And so NASCAR so it's like so it's pretty cool. They had asked if we would do like 38 episodes because that's the NASCAR season. So Spider and I will be doing a show, trying to make it a little bit different. There'll be some picking involved, like trying to pick stuff in conjunction with Barstool Sportsbook, and they'll do a lot of like boots on the ground stuff. Still do probably about 8 or 10 races and whatnot. So another log on the fire. It should be a lot of fun. Lots of fun.
I can't believe that the NASCAR season. So the race you guys were at was obviously the last one of the season. That was the capper.
Yeah, that was the championship race. NASCAR is different, Clem. I don't know if you know. They get to the final 4 racers, the ones with the most points at the end of the season.
Yep. And
they run a final race, usually in Phoenix because you don't have any rain, right? You run it in the desert.
Yep.
But the thing is that the race is just not those 4 guys. There's still 36 people. Yeah, still 36 people in the race, even though only 4 of them would be eligible to win, as it were. And so it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little thing. And Joey Logano, who was one of the final 4, won the race and won the championship. So it was pretty exciting. So congratulations to Joey Logano and his team. And that's that. Now the season's over. We move on. We move on. I have a quick story for all the married people out there. Myself, Spider, and Jack McCarthy. Jack McCarthy's guy, low 20s, mid 20s? Right?
Yeah, low to mid 20s, I'd say. If I had to guess, 24 and a half.
Yeah, so a nice kid. We can agree on that, right? Very, very nice kid. Does a lot with the gambling content here at Barstool Sports. So Spider, and I were out there, and we're at a couple of parties and stuff during the race. And at one point, one of the people there was overserved, and the guy was single and all that stuff. And he turns to me and he says, "Hey, Large, where are you going after the race?" I said, "I don't know, to be honest with you. But we have a hotel room not too far from here. I might just go back because I have an early flight." He's like, No, come with me. We'll go to Scottsdale, where I'm staying. It's like 40 minutes from the thing. Go to Old Town, and I'll get you the most pristine pussy you've ever saw. That's what he said. I said, "Excuse me?"
Single and looking to mingle, this guy.
And he said, And like, what do you do as a married guy who's, beyond that stuff, like beyond the infidelity stuff? So I normally go, oh, cool. Yeah, maybe I'll meet you there. Like, that's what I normally did. But for some reason, I was just sitting there and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm happily married. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, I love my wife and stuff. So I wouldn't be able to do that. I was like, and plus, I got the 3 kids. I could just see the looks on their faces that they found out that dad was getting like pristine pussy with an absolute stranger. My wife's extraordinary. Hey, Jack, what do you think of my wife? And then Jack turns around. He's listened to the whole thing. He's like, oh, no, she's an extraordinary woman. I'm like, yeah, so and the guy's like, oh, no, I didn't mean to like break up your marriage. I was like, no way you can break up the marriage. It's been a quarter of a century. I mean, we're ironclad. I just want you to know that's not my thing. This poor drunk guy just wanted to make some conversation, maybe get me laid or, thinking about something like that. And I was like, nope, no room in this inn, buddy. So he got up and walked away. That was the end of my experience with him. So
do you think he woke up the next morning being like, I can't believe I offered Lars some pristine pussy? Or do you think he has no recollection of it at all? And give him credit. He didn't say like subpar or above average, satisfactory. Right. Yeah. Pristine.
And he wasn't a fan. Like, he knew that I worked for Barstool and stuff. So it wasn't like, I don't think he would know who the Saint is. Yeah. It wasn't an insult to me by any stretch of the imagination, because even if I was married, a lot of guys, as we know, don't mind cheating on their wives, like Kevin, for example. I'm just kidding.
Had to bring it back. Just had to bring it back.
So no, but it was just one of those weird things. Like, as a happily married dude, you throw it out every now and again just to keep everybody honest. And you know what? I called Annie and I told her the story right afterwards.
Yep. Just let her know.
To get some points for it.
It was presented to me and I turned it down. Pristine, Gem Mint 10. We're talking, you remember, did you ever watch those old Gem Mint 10, the old sporting card shows? I used to love that stuff. Just the absolute best. Gem Mint 10 pussy being offered in Scottsdale.
But how about a young guy like Jack McCarthy? I said, hey, Jack, you met my wife, right? He turned around and just simply said, oh, yes, she's an extraordinary woman. That's what he hit her with, which is something I would have said. Yes. I might have said it. Maybe he did. But so good on Jack McCarthy.
And good on you. Hey, I'll give you a pat on the back if Annie didn't, because, hey, good job on you. It's an unnatural thing, Large. It's an unnatural thing. We call it human creation meant to drive people crazy. But we won't go here. That's neither here nor there. Did you ride the what's it called? The thing where you were flying up in the air? Did you end up going on that?
I tell you what, yes, I did. You get in a steel picnic table, Clem, and the picnic table has seats attached to it that all have 4-point harnesses, and you're sitting there. They're sort of like roller coaster seats, and sure enough, the picnic table has a hook on the top of it connected to a gigantic crane, and the crane takes you 160 feet up in the air. 160 feet up in the air. Open air. Like, it's if you have a fear of heights, you cannot do this. I'm not overly afraid of heights, but it was pretty terrifying, just to be out there. And then they spin you, because for the first 15, 20 minutes you're up there. If you're on one side of the table, you're looking out over these beautiful mountains, like this mountain range behind Phoenix Raceway. And then they spin you. And then for the other 20 minutes, you're watching the race from 160 feet up in the air at turn 2. And so I did it with Spider and Jack. We had a ball. I mean, Phoenix Raceway, NASCAR in general, I can't say enough good things about them. Looking forward to working with them again next year. But that was wild. And inside these giant, things, there's like cages where people are walking around serving you charcuterie, beers, glasses of wine. It was wild. And they're all like hooked in, like, cables on, like hooked in and stuff. And they started doing it in Canada at golf tournaments, and they moved that down to do it at NASCAR. It's the first one that they had done it at, and it was something else. So I would highly recommend you do it if you ever see it at a local sporting event.
Okay, and the other thing you did mention, weight limits. Are we talking? Are they like side eyeing guys like me and you when we're going up there?
I really thought that it might be, because I told you I got thrown off a water slide once because they made me. They made me get on I waited for about a half hour with the kids, and they made me get on a scale, and I went 305. And I mean, I had the swim shirt on. I had the wet shorts. So come on, give me something.
There's a little extra water weight in there.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know the calibration of that scale. And I had to do the walk of shame back down. Everyone's standing in line going north, and I'm the only one going south. Oh, that was the worst. So I thought this might be around 2, and there was no thing there. It wasn't even filled up the table, so I think they had plenty. It would just been a seat issue, but it did go through my mind a couple of times as the seat shook a little bit.
Yep, everyone's looking at you.
Yeah, imagine I shake this steel right off the fucking thing. But no, so luckily nobody hurt, and a good time had by all.
I went to NASCAR. Shoot, now it's probably been about 20 years ago. 15 years ago when we were. I don't know if I've ever told this story in the pod. We were our job was moving to Charlotte, so they were trying to get us to want to go to Charlotte, and there happened to be a race at Charlotte Speedway or whatever, and you could just bring in a 30-pack. Just a 30-pack. We just were lugging in a 30-pack in like a cooler case, just went on in, and was at that point I was just chugging beers in my seat, no problems at all. You go to the concession stand, stuff was being cooked out of like someone's crock pot from their house. It was the most delightful thing. There was a pre-race prayer along with the national anthem, so I got a little bit of Southern hospitality in me.
Time.
And no matter where you are around the country, that's how we roll. Yep. Okay. And I just thought it was a tremendous experience, and I really enjoyed it. And we've talked about it a lot on here, getting down and doing some of the circuit with you. So I'll definitely try to get there next year. Maybe we'll go visit our friend Barstool Eddie. When's the Chicago race?
4th of July.
Oh, 4th of July. Okay. I can try to book that
July
one.
Weekend. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know what? You would like to go to the Chicago one, but I think we're taking the whole Chicago team. And that Chicago team is not getting smaller. That office is getting exponentially
that's a
bigger.
Good point. That's a good point.
I'm hoping they fit me in on that one. But but no, I would adore if you came with us to one of these races at some point next season. And again, we're going to do all the classics, Talladega, Daytona. I think we're going to do the short track at Bristol. You might dig that. But yeah, we'd love to have you, because we'd love to have the experience of people who are going in earnest, especially with the VIP treatment that we get for the first time. So even if you've gone before, and they do have special coolers that fit under the dimensions of the seats.
It's the best.
They're NASCAR coolers, so they fit on there. So if you, your wife, and your kid go, you can bring 3 coolers, waters and soda, beers, and sandwiches. It's fit all 3 underneath. NASCAR does not care. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience.
It's the absolute best. I'm dying to get back there. So everyone keep an eye out for the new podcast coming next year. I can't believe it's February to November, because I know that February Daytona, that's when it kicks off. My buddy did a Daytona 500 party. We had an absolute blast. So congrats to you and Spider. News here in the Casa de Clem. Just came back from a trip to my beloved Costco earlier today, and wanted to tell you that I just purchased one of these, big man. Had to drop it to you on the pod.
The Salus Spa, the Salon Spa, Salus Spa. Is that how you go?
I believe Salus. I call it Salus Spa.
I'll take that.
What is the Salus Spa? The Laguna. This is the Laguna model. Portable spa portable, or spa portátil, depending on what your language of choice is. $399.99 at Costco. We're dealing with an inflatable hot tub at the Casa de Clem. We're treating ourselves. We're going a little fancy here. And I knew the big man would be very happy to hear that I just bought this for my house.
I want it right away. I had gone online. I see this thing offered as high as maybe $675 somewhere else. $506 at another place.
That's right.
So I think you got yourself a little bit of a deal. Let me ask you something, because we tend to have, is there a weight capacity? Is there a water displacement here? I'm asking for you, not for your lovely wife, obviously.
So just like with your NASCAR experience, yes. I did my research, and people said the big man. Now it says 2 to 4 people allowed. We'll just say if a man like me is in that hot tub, we're going to stick closer to the 2 than the 4, right? 2 to 4. It's not 2 to 4 adults, 2 to 4 people. The kids want to hop in. I think we can make it work, at least as of now. Once Sienna and AJ turn a couple years older, might get a little tighter there unless, you know, I've decided to shed a kid or two off of my body. So I was told everything should be fine. I did as much research as humanly possible. And the best part about it, Large, if there's a problem, you can just return it to Costco. No questions asked. No questions asked at all. People were returning. I saw, I was on the Costco Reddit again, have to admit, and people were returning some couches that were a year old because they didn't like the way it had felt after the springs were starting to go, they said. So that's the kind of top class quality service you get at Costco. So I'm expecting that similar with my couch. And on the way out, a Costco employee said, "Excuse me, sir, is that your spot?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, it is." He goes, "My brother just got that. And he sends me a picture every single night just saying how much he loves this thing. He's had it for about a month, absolutely loves it. And if we had it here, I would have bought one, you know, earlier on." And I said, "Oh, why don't you have it?" He goes, "Well, I bought myself a real hot tub." I said, "Oh, okay, fair enough." But apparently a very a crowd pleaser, as they say. I looked at the reviews, 4.1 stars, 4.1. Clem does not buy something that is 4.1 stars. All the 1-star reviews turn slimy after a few days. I don't like the way it feels after a few days. Those people do not realize that you have to use chemicals in your water, whether it's a hot tub or a pool. I am the son of a pool man who has pool supplies and spa supplies at his pool store. So I will be living the good life here at the Casa de Clem starting. Sienna has her birthday party on Sunday, so we'll probably start Monday. We're not gonna open this up till there's no kids at the house.
This fascinates me. And I'll tell you what I see this as. This is what I see this as. I see this as a gateway hot tub.
Yes.
This is you and the wife saying, "You know what? Maybe we'll go and get like whatever they are, 6 to 8 man hot tub somewhere along the line." You never have as good of a sleep in your life as you do when you get out of a hot tub. I believe that wholeheartedly. And it's supposed to be very good for you, to be honest. And so are saunas and all that stuff that you tend to have avoided as a child. They all have like some sort of medical benefit. So is this one of those things where if you see that you have it and you use it, then maybe you'll go the extra step? Because like you said, you're a pool family, so you have connections in the hot tub world, and then maybe put in something a little bit more permanent, as opposed to we filled it up, we used it 3 times, and then we haven't used it since. A fucking hot tub would be an absolute waste of money. Is that the thought process?
Large, you fucking nailed it. Bullseye, my friend. Once again, my thought is this. I think I'm going to love the hot tub. I know you have to obviously keep up on the chemicals. You have to get the filters going every day or so, change out your filters, keep everything clean, wash it down, yada, yada, yada. Shouldn't be a big deal. This is going to tell me if I'm ready to get that hot tub, or even more so, if I want to get the pool. The pool is kind of the next thing that's been on our list for a little while. Now that AJ is at the age where I can at least trust him that if he sneaks into the pool, he could probably tread water for a little bit until I realize he's missing. Sienna, obviously we're fine with, but it's going to be a motherfucker keeping up with all that unless I have someone do it, like our boy Daddy Boy down in Texas. So this is kind of like you said, the kids want to get a dog. I said, we're not getting a dog. What we're going to do is we're going to get a turtle. We're going to get a fish. We're going to get a hamster, something like that, as a way to see if you guys prove you can take care of these. Maybe one day we'll get a dog. They're not getting a dog. 0% chance of that. However, this is the same with me. If I could take care of this hot tub, maybe I evolve into a pool, and then down the road, a hot tub once I was going to say once the kids are in college, once the kids are out of college and their college bills have been paid off, then maybe in our twilight years, we'll be getting a big time hot tub and said, hey, we did it in 2022. We had that little portable hot tub. So yeah. And I figured down the road, I could sell it. I could probably just return it to Costco too in like 5 years if once I'm done with it the way they go there.
If it lasts a full season and you spent whatever a season is, I'll call it 6 months.
Yep.
Right. It would be the stretchy part of it. The season. If it lasts a season and you pay $300 for it, you could just put it out to the curb. You put it out to the curb and don't feel like you're losing money. I would. I mean, this is intriguing to me because I'm a hot tub guy. I want one.
You strike me as a hot tub guy.
But what I did when I put in my backyard, we put in the grill. I had put in the grill with a counter, and then I had the drop off the counter with a lower ledge. And my wife says, and we'll put a green egg in there because I know you use the green egg when you go down to the shore, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I use the green egg when we go down to the shore, basically just to sear stuff. I've never used a smoker. People are usually surprised by that. I've used other people's smokers with them and stuff, but I've never smoked my own meat. So instead of going and getting this multiple $1,000 green egg, we had gotten an electric smoker. And the electric smoker also fits right on this ledge. It's good looking. It has a cover. And I said, depending on how long I'll use, how often I use it, then I'll say, maybe I'll get the green egg. And this electric smoker is idiot proof. It's the easiest thing in the world to use. So I've had it out there on the thing now for over 6 months. I still haven't turned it on. So I'm thrilled, and it still looks good. Like it looks like I have a smoker, but it was like $300 as opposed. So I think this is brilliant. Absolutely.
Training wheels.
100% brilliant. I love it. I love the
training wheels. Okay, I didn't see that coming. I thought I'd get shamed. If Chaps was here, I'd probably be getting shamed a little bit. But that's exactly the I have an electric smoker outside as well. I've probably used it 5 times my entire life. The beauty of smoking is it's easy. The horror of smoking is you just have to keep on it though, and like remember. And I used to do it when we was working, even just working here and blogging. You forget about it. You're like, oh shit, the smoker, got to keep it going. You have to get up early and then to eat at a certain time. It's not very kid inducive when you have kids and a job going on. So I have an electric smoker. I think I'm just going to move the smoker and just put the hot tub where the smoker is. So I think that'll be the rotation there. I'm going to need the outlet too now that I think about it as well. So
will this be outdoors?
This will be out. So there is a cover, comes with it. It will be covered. I tried to throw this around to the roommates back in college. I wanted to throw a hot tub in the living room back in college. Like, in Coming to America, when the landlord gets a King's old place, that was always the dream right there. There's 2 movies, that movie, and then Big when he has the arcade game in his house. And that's why I bought the Street Fighter 2 game. Those were 2 things. Those were 2 goals for me I've always had. Right. So I don't know if the wife would allow it, but it would be a lot nicer just to be cooking in your own house. Don't have to go outside, freeze a little bit. It is nice being under the stars, maybe a little romantic, some snow falling and stuff like that. I'm going to buy you one of these when we get you that Costco membership. If this is good, will you let me buy you a hot tub? I
will come to your Costco if this thing works out, and I will, because I have that covered porch on the side of my house
with a ceiling fan, which I absolutely love. Ceiling fans, absolutely.
So, yeah, and so I'd be like, I've had the solo stove going inside that covered porch during the winter. Like I've had it, and it wasn't that great of an idea because I threw in some paper and stuff, so a lot of ash came out. It wasn't like how it does normally with just wood. But I would consider just screwing around with that to see, because therefore you're kind of a little bit more private. I don't have as much land as you, so it's more private. Neighbors really can't see in there. I don't want anyone to see my nipples, as you know. All 3 of them. So yeah,
not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, God, no. I don't want to be judged. I just want to talk about it. Yeah, I like this move. I like this move a lot.
All right, I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy I went in through that. That was a big confession to make. I was very worried that it was going to come back and bite me in the butt, but it is here and it's going up next week. Give a full review on next week's Podfathers. What's going on in the Barstool world, right? Oh, we were talking about this before we went live. We got the Barstool Invitational going on. This will be the day after the podcast comes out, November 11th, Barstool Invitational in Philly. Dan and Dave on the call. We have, I believe there's like the half court contest with the Barstool Sportsbook that we're running. I believe Jeff D. Lowe's doing some in-arena trivia going on. Got 2 great games, and the big man is going to be there with a whole bunch of other Barstool folks. You're doing a little family vacation afterwards, right?
Yeah, they're running a bus. Barstool's running a bus from the office Friday afternoon to get there in plenty of time for the 5 o'clock tip for the first game. I think Mississippi State might be in the first game. And then the second game is to follow at perhaps 7:30. So the kids are off because of Memorial Day, Veterans Day.
Yeah. Sienna's birthday. That's why I can't go. It's Veterans Day, which is Sienna's birthday. Shout out Chaps. Doesn't even come on for the Veterans Day episode. Kind of fucked up.
Yeah, a little bit weird.
Does Chaps respect the troops? We have to ask ourselves that question.
Or did he just take off for Veterans Day? He deserves it.
Oh, that's true.
We should shoulder the load there. And you know me, it hurts me to defend him. But yeah, so I'm gonna drive down with the 2 kids and Annie because my 3rd kid is doing his thing.
He's cursing a fucking legendary program right now. I mean, what is this? 2 losses this season?
Do you think he gives a single shit, Clem? Honest to God, this kid is. I mean, I can't even bust his chops because then he sends me a picture of what he's doing and stuff, and I'm like, oh God, why'd I go to Notre Dame?
I hate myself for going to Siena College. At least Notre Dame had some of the stuff that these fucking big schools have that are fun. I went to a school that was 2 hours away from home, which was nice being home, but I had the shitty weather in Notre Dame without like the big school feeling and all this kind of stuff. Mick did it right. God bless him.
I got invited to go to bare knuckle boxing down in, I think, Tampa, the day that number one son makes his triumphant return from college for Thanksgiving weekend. And I had to politely decline. I can't wait to see him at home. And I won't be doing anything for that week. This is the year that we spend Thanksgiving at my brother's as opposed to at Annie's sister's. So, like, my whole side of the family will be together.
In Jersey?
Yeah, yes, in Cranford, New Jersey. My brother's daughter, Grace, who's also gone away to college, and his older daughter, Shannon, who goes away to college. Everyone's going to be back. So, so this is going to be a good one. And and he's like, well, you can go if you need to. Bare knuckle is weird. It's fought in a triangular ring. It's a little bit, yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I want to go to one of these things. I do, but the timing is just off. Mick's coming home. And then the second fight they invited me to, which is in, I think, North Carolina, is the same day as Rough and Rowdy in Providence. So anyway, so Mick's not there. So Finnegan, Bridget, myself, and Annie are going to go down Friday for the games. Probably not stay for the second game. I got a hotel right next to the Wells Fargo, like a Courtyard Marriott or something. And then Saturday, I think we were going to go to the Eastern State Penitentiary, the penitentiary. Remember when I told you about that? The haunted house there?
Yep.
It was terrifying. And just me and Mick went years ago while Annie took the kids to the Peanuts movie. So I said, perfect. It's the last weekend. And after Halloween, in order to keep people coming, they do the whole thing in the dark, which makes it even more terrifying. So I said, I'll take the 4 guys there. I said, Bridge, you cool going? She's like, yeah, I'll give it a whirl, Finn's like, yeah, let's go do it. I was like, Annie, so cool. We have the games Friday. Saturday, we're going to Eastern State Penitentiary. She's like, no, we're not. I'm like, really? She's like, I don't do those. What? My wife's a coward. So we're going to have to find something else. She's like, I'll wait outside. I'll wait outside the place. I was like, what if it's raining? She's like, I'll bring an umbrella. She will not go into this haunted. And it's legitimately, look up Eastern State Penitentiary, anybody outside of Philly, it's fucking terrifying. And Annie is not for the first time in a long time. She is not DTF. She's not.
I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I would have guessed you'd be the one who'd be outside and you'd be holding the umbrella over Annie. It's not
a good guess. Yeah. Would you do it?
So I've done a haunted house before with Robbie. We did one a few years ago, and I feel like it was not as bad as this one. I'd do it, but you'd have to twist my arm. It would take some arm twisting, but I would do it just because you're a pal of mine, and I'd love
How about
to do
Mama
it with
Clem?
you.
No, I'm saying with your kids. Like, your kids aren't old enough to do this yet. They're not. Yeah. Bridget's barely old enough. I would wait another year if I had my druthers, but I'll be in Philly,
So you know what? I'm not gonna act tough. No, I wouldn't do it. Like, if this is one of those ones that out of a fear factor is an 8 to a 10, I don't have the gumption for that. I'm lying to you. I'm lying right to your face right now for no good reason. I don't go on upside down roller coasters, Large. My 4-year-old son is going to be going upside down roller coasters in Disney in like a couple months, and I'm going to be sitting outside waiting for the 3 of them running off the fucking ride.
I just had charcuterie 160 feet in the air in the desert. I'm going to go this. If you pay extra, they put grease paint, glow-in-the-dark grease paint on your cheeks, and that lets the actors inside the haunted house know that you are willing to be touched and dragged into different parts.
Oh my God.
So when we went the first time, again, it's in total darkness. I'm with a group of 6 or 7, me, Mick, and all strangers. They give you one glow stick. They give it to me. Crack the glow stick. Some girl has the grease paint on her face. Mick has the grease paint on his face. I crack the glow stick. I go in there. The other 6 people are huddled around me. Honest to God, huddled around me like I'm Fred and Scooby-Doo with the whole gang.
Yes.
We're huddled. All of a sudden, we hear some screaming, and I'm looking with the glow stick it's a dwarf with a pig's head mask on, and it grabs the girl and brings her into a trap door, like a closet. And right away, Mick is taking a fucking paint off his face. We got that shit right off. And I was like, come here, kid. And I'm doing this whole thing. Fuck that. And we went through, and I'm telling you, Clem, by the time we got out, it looked like we swam through the place. We were soaked to the bone. And we casually met Annie and the other two kids getting out of the Peanuts movie. Whenever there was a Peanuts movie a couple of years ago. So they'd gone seen that in the movie theater. So they came out, you know, and
Yep.
it was no bueno. So yeah, I know what to expect. So it might be a little bit easier. And, you know, I've grown since then, but that's on the menu. Otherwise, I'm looking for like restaurant recommendations and stuff. I don't know where to go in Philly anymore. So,
yeah, hit up our boy Large if you guys have any recommendations in Philly or the Eastern Philly penitentiary area. Our boy Finn, I feel like they'll be hiding from him by the time it's all said and done. Mr. Football player over there now. And do not let Bridget wear that paint. Don't you dare let that little butterfly.
No, that paint is not going anywhere near anybody. Nobody is getting that. That is next level.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake looking back now. Oh man. So and that's the kind of stuff that I look forward to being able to do as a parent is we're so locked in at this age with AJ. He's 4.5. Sienna's turning 8 on Friday. Is like the vacations, they'll probably be big splashes or a little trip away like we do to 4th of July and stuff like that. I feel like those trips to kind of local cities and you're just spending a weekend and it's not even like you're doing crazy stuff. You're doing the haunted house. You're doing just a movie, right? I feel like that. At least when I remember being a kid, I remember there were some sweet spots in there. I remember going to Albany as a kid with my family, and there was like a dinosaurs come alive with the animatronics, and that was before Jurassic Park had come out, and you think they're really fucking dinosaurs. Just shit like that I always thought was the best, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wish, you know, we started to comb through. I figured it's Philly, right? I like Philadelphia. So I figured, you know, the restaurants are taken care of. There's a bunch of places to eat. There has to be some other things. And the Sixers are home on Saturday. But if we do college basketball on Friday, kids won't want to do that. And then
what about the Birds?
The Eagles are home, but they're playing Monday night. So no NFL game. So then I look and like concerts, it's like my kids would be kind of into it, even if it was like close, but it's like Joan Osborne. As like maybe a comedy club, it's like Paul Reiser. I mean, it's not stuff that I could do with them, you know?
Maybe Roan could take you to a battle rap, an underground battle rap. We'll ask our friend Adam Ferrone. He's a top 50 battle rapper, according to, I don't know if it was The Source, Double XL, one of those magazines. So he could take you to an underground battle rap. I think that would be a fun time.
That would be lovely, yes.
Was Bridge on Power?
Yes, Bridge is on Power.
So yes. Maybe she has like a coworker she knows that is in the scene. So that could be fun as well. Yeah, man, that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I do like these better. To your point,
yeah.
I think that if we have some fun on the way down, you know, like if you stop someplace on the way down, and you know, if there's some sort of wackiness with Barstool that the kids can kind of see from a, you know, close at hand VIP purview. And by the way, there's plenty of tickets left, I believe. So if you guys want to come down and hang out, have a beer with me and the rest of the Barstool crews, plenty of tickets. You just got to go online and get them.
And get your ugly Christmas sweaters now, so you have them by Christmas. They are selling them now, so you could get them in time for Christmas. And people on YouTube, look what we have here. Merry Christmas,
Musk. Yeah, for all you Musketeers out there, Merry Christmas. And he's in all the headlines. So that's from Barstool Finance. They nixed the 3 for Barstool for Twisted History. Did I tell you about that?
The 3?
I put in 3 ugly Christmas sweater ideas.
Okay.
Yeah, and they nixed all 3. I had one what was Joe Biden with the Santa Claus hat on saying Happy Halloween. Nope. And I had one with Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, by a doorway saying, "But baby, it's cold outside." You know that very rapey song? Like,
oh yes, really extremely creepy.
And then I had the third one was the manger scene where Christ was born, but instead of Joseph, it was Woody Allen, and it says, "I was hoping for a girl." Oh, that's bad. And so they nixed all 3 of them. It was supposed to say "Have a Twisted Christmas," blah blah blah. And
hashtag not my Barstool. I'll tell you
not
that.
Not my fucking Barstool.
They could have seen the shit we were selling back in the day. I'm not talking on the Christmas sweaters. I'm just talking regular old T-shirts. That was nothing. That stuff was PG compared to the stuff we were slinging to make a base onto this media empire we've built. Elon Musk, god damn it, this whole Twitter thing is out of this fucking world too now. I went on today and it's just blue check marks are making up fake tweets. LeBron's requesting a trade. People are retiring. People are getting cut. Just absolute chaos in the streets right now. I don't even know.
Parlor, Mastodon.
Oh yeah, Mastodon. We're dealing
Mastodon's
with
the
all
other
that
one.
shit.
Yeah, there's all this other stuff. And then Meta had layoffs today. Elon cut half the workforce. Amazon hiring freeze. Apple hiring freeze. I mean, it's crazy. The employment numbers are, by the way, I'm doing Barstool Finance again, obviously. And now I think we're going to like 4 times a week, Clem. Jesus Christ.
I'm saying we've probably hired 16 people since we started recording this podcast. Dude. We're the only fucking company hired people. I don't understand how. God bless them. This might be the last time you guys see me. Maybe I'll be the first one out the door. But it is kind of crazy how that all goes. You were talking about Barstool Finance. I wanted to ask for like the people like me. We'll say me and the common men and women that this company was built for. The word recession here, big one in the news these days. I think I understand inflation, and I think I don't think inflation was a surprise considering the crap that we went through with the pandemic. And I don't think a recession, in theory, was that much of a surprise. It almost seemed too good to be true that we weren't just devolving into chaos back in 2020. A recession now. If I have a 401k, if I'm in the stock market, if I just have money in the bank, that's all bad. This is all bad for me. Well, TLDR.
Yes. Yeah. So recession, people are still in denial that we're in a recession. Like a recession is marked by 2 negative GDP numbers in a row, which we've already had. So we're in a recession. The only reason that I'm allowed to say it is because I can say I identify as being in a recession, and all of a sudden people pay attention to it. But we're in one. And so, yeah, so like a high inflation recessionary environment is not good for us. I mean, the dollar is strong. So if you were going to Euro Disney instead of Disney, it would make more sense because your money buys more overseas. But here we're paying a lot. The CPI number comes out tomorrow, which is like a measure of inflation. It's like a basket of goods and services that they measure every month to see if the price goes up or down. So it's a pretty good measure of how, inflation is going. So in a
check mark used to be free. Now it's $8. So I'll tell you, that's a market of inflation.
Could have been 20. Could have been 20. And by the way, so as far as a recession goes, right? Like we weren't in a recession necessarily when the market had crashed on the COVID news. And that crash had a V-shaped recovery. It went down as quickly as it went up. That's a V-shaped recovery. So this recession, as the market is bleeding, we're thinking that the recovery is going to be a little bit longer and more drawn out as more bad news hits over the next, 8 to 12 months, let's say. So it's not good, but it also creates a huge buying opportunity for people who are investors, not traders who get in and out of stuff within a day. Yep. Investors who buy stuff and hold on to it because I think the market comes back at some point. We pull ourselves out of a recession. So all that being said and done, this market makes no fucking sense in the world. So even if you're watching, the Family Office, what we do with Tyler, and now we're doing these short squeezes, it's called, where we just do like myself, Brendan Clancy, and Tyler will do, Brendan Clancy's in it. We'll do like just recaps on what had happened during the day, kind of be a little bit nimble on today's things. Just the wildest shit in the world is happening. Now that you bring crypto into the equation and all that, it's
FTX and Binance and shit like that I don't understand.
Yeah, Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who had lost 93% of his wealth in a day, I interviewed him. He did the Twisted History of Cryptocurrencies with me. And
I remember that.
Yeah,
that was him.
That was him, yeah. So this crazy fucking 20-some-odd-year-old billionaire who is now worth just a percentage of what he once was, still worth a lot more than us.
He's not buying inflatable hot tubs. He can still get the real thing.
And then some other place, Binance, was looking to buy to bail him out. And then they said, you know what? We looked at it again. We're not going to do it. And everything went down again. It's an absolute shit show, but it's a lot to talk about. So, so we're doing that. I'm trying, you try to, what do? We try to stay relevant, right, Clem? That's all guys like us try to do. Yeah. So since I have a little bit of background, they pulled me back in. Fucking pulled me back in.
Do you still wear
So
your trading shirt and stuff? You still wear your badge or whatever?
Yeah, I got the. I might have the badge right here somewhere. I don't have it in the office. But yeah, I usually wear the trading jacket. Oh no, I brought it in the office because we did an interview inside the office. But I usually have it on the back of my my coat. Still fits. I was heavy set then too.
A little more hair. More hair.
No, when I was on the floor, I had hair.
Yeah,
I went bald while I was on the floor. Yeah,
that'll do it to you. It sounds like, right?
It did a lot more than that, if you know what I mean, Clem. A lot more than that.
I'll just tell you. Listen, as the snacks guy here at Barstool, I see how much a bag of Doritos are now compared to what they were a year ago, compared to what they were 5 years ago. Shit is fucked, man. I go even my beloved stews. I'm looking to. I'm like, do we really need to do that right now? Everything's more expensive and it's smaller. The packaging you're getting too. It's a double whammy. So that's how I know we're in a recession right now, my friend.
Let's say you're coming out of college right now, right? Like what?
Oh.
Like let's say you're one of these guys and you're graduating this spring and you're looking to work at Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Zuck already cut 11,000 jobs from its workforce of like 80. You have a better chance of getting a job at Barstool than you do probably right now at Amazon, Apple, Lyft, that online thing, Stripe, Twitter, or Meta. It's a crazy app, and all of these prices are through. Oh, by the way, snacking off. So every time I get a bag of chips, I open them and I'll taste them too. And some guy says, "Oh, he's a prison guard at a prison." He's like, "I got to send you the ones that they serve in prison." Oh. He sent me a thing today, Clem. It's a coffin filled with snacks from the prison commissary.
Incredible.
It's the weirdest thing in the world. I'm almost tempted to wait for you and I to
let's do this.
Do you want to?
We'll do it. Next time we'll meet in the office and we'll do a snacking off prison food. I love this idea. I do. I absolutely love it. I don't want to. Okay. Well, without getting, have you watched Andor yet?
I love it. I didn't watch this week. What day is it today? I didn't watch this week.
Okay.
I'm up to date. I think it's the best Star Wars vehicle, arguably one of the best Star Wars vehicles ever made.
Yes, agreed. It's right up there with Mandalorian. This could be better than Mandalorian when it's all said and done for television. And then, the movies are a different beast, but the original trilogy stands on its own. But this might be up there with anything else, including Rogue One, which it's going to roll into, obviously. There is a scene in there with some prison stuff without getting into it. Don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But that's what the prison food had me thinking. And I had to see as a fellow nerd here, get you down in the basement one day to talk about it again. Is it all chips or what are we dealing with when it comes to the snacks here?
Clem, so the thing is I went on Amazon because I had heard that Amazon sells the potato chips that they sell at the commissary in most Northeastern prisons. And so it's by maybe Moon Farms or something, Moon something potato chips. So I got a box from Amazon with 6 bags of plain old potato chips from Moon Farms, perhaps. Moon something. I had to look it up. And I put that out into the ether somewhere. Some guy goes, You want the real deal ones? These are plain potato chips, just salted potato chips. I said, yeah, if it's not a bother. But I was like, I don't want. He's like, no. I'm near the commissary. Get as much as you want. I'll mail it out to you. I'm a fan of what you do. I said, oh, cool. If you want to send that, so send it along. And I got it today. I haven't looked through the whole thing, but it's not salt potato chips. It's like the barbecue ones, the hot ones. There's ramen in there. There's packages of off-brand peanut butter squeezy stuff. There's powdered chocolate drinks and summer sausages that look kind of sus, as the kids say.
Sus AF.
Sus AF. For real.
The kid, both of my fucking kids say sus. A 4-year-old and a 7-year-old both say sus like it's an everyday word. It's craziness, man. It's crazy.
But if you want me to save it, honestly, I think this stuff will last, indefinitely.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're like the sausage or anything else you want to try that you don't think will last, go
want
for
to try
it.
with it. I don't want to try without you.
But we'll get it done. We have plenty of taste testing we're going to do. We're going to do a Blazer taste test one of these days. I Want You Inside Me. We're going to do I Want You Inside Me with Captain Khan's boy down at the Wooden Spoon or his new restaurant. We have plenty of food to be going. It's the holiday season. Maybe a few Thanksgiving sandwiches coming up. Nick Mangold wants to have some Thanksgiving. Do you know of any spots by you? Because this is Thanksgiving sandwich time. We embrace it. We have another 20 days or so until Thanksgiving. We got to get as much turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce thrown in between pieces of bread or in a wrap, whatever your vehicle may be, to get it inside of you. There's plenty of things we have to do now that the holidays are here and we get to legally be fat.
Yeah. All I know is I have a box of prison food. Your move, man. Your move, my man.
So once we're talking about boxes of prison food, that's how we know we've made it to the end of the episode.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to Chaps. Thank him and all the other veterans out there. If you're listening to this on Veterans Day, or even if you're not, it doesn't matter. We wish you guys all a happy Veterans Day, and we will see you next week. Veterans Day, if you're listening to this before Veterans Day or on Veterans Day, go to the Barstool Invitational down in Philly. Get your sweaters before Black Friday, and then on Black Friday, save a couple extra bucks because I'm sure we'll have some nice discounts in the store. That stuff that may not be there by that stuff should be there by Christmas. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm going to just shut up now. I'm going to be in the Dozen in Boston on the 29th of November. That's a Tuesday. I believe it's sold out at the House of Blues. I'm not sure, but check that out. And we'll see you guys soon. Stay safe and stay sane.